Oh, I muted myself on accident. What's going on, everybody? Whew, man. We made it through another week. We made it through another week here in what is the end of summer. The end of summer. It was, man, I don't know about y'all, but it's been a miserable like week and a half in the garden. I think out of the last 2 weeks, I have probably had a total of, I don't know, 3 hours in the garden between rain and just nasty, nasty weather. And it looks like we're going to get a break from it this weekend, actually. We're going to get a little bit of a break, which I'm excited about. Shows Saturday here in my area. Tomorrow is a low of 70, a high of 86. And they got some wind. It's been windy, real windy all day today. I had some stuff that was blown over. Actually, I had to go out and tie some stuff down and stake up some plants and get some stuff going. I had a plumeria that was blown over. I had a couple pots that had blown out. So yeah, it's gonna be a windy weekend. It seems like, but it should be dry. And it's looking like in my area, probably going to be all the way through Monday is going to be dried up. So the good news is it had been so dry. It had been so dry for a couple weeks now that most of the rain, is going to be soaked up into the ground pretty well. Shouldn't be too many puddles. So hopefully it dries up real quick and we're able to get those fall raised beds filled up here at the house. I got to go pick up some soil tomorrow from Living Earth Soils over in Iowa Colony. They've been my go-to here lately. I'm going to be doing a combination of organic compost. I got some organic vegetable soil as well. And then I'm probably going to do a layer of mulch. Probably do a layer of mulch at the top. It's not as necessary this time of year because we're going to be getting into the cooler weather. We're going to be getting a lot more rain and everything. So mulch isn't as necessary, but for me, it helps out with weeds, it seems. Helps out with all the weed pressure and not having to water as often. So like y'all might have seen in my previous video that I just posted this week with the blueberries, I went ahead and did a pretty thick layer of what they call the Houston mulch. And they have a contract with the city of Houston where they pretty much collect all the mulch and grind it up and sell it back. And the reason that's important for me is because I've gone to like some big box stores before and bought mulch, and I don't know where the mulch came from, but I started experiencing situations where I had pests and insects that I'd never even seen before. I had something called a box elder bug. I had never seen a box elder bug in my entire life until I went and got a bag of soil, or not a bag of soil, a bag of mulch from, don't know where it came from. So if you can, buy local. I always recommend buying local when you can. We got some questions in the chat. And if y'all are hopping in for the Friday evening, TGIF, thank God it's Friday. Hopefully you're off tomorrow and you're not working. But if you are working, good job. Make that money. Find some time to get in the garden. But let's go ahead and get our first question. This morning I saw a great show. It's called Native Texas Sage Propagation, the musical. The dancing was great. Any chance we can see the results? See the musical? I did a musical. Oh, I have a tendency to sing in my videos. I did do a Texas sage propagation video last year, and I want to say I did it in July or August, and it was really hot, really, really hot. And at the time, for the purpose of the video, I did the cuttings a little small. And I think that was my mistake because it was so dry and so hot that it was hard to keep those propagations moist. So if I go back, and I'm going to be propagating some Texas sage, because not only do I have my awesome Silverado Texas sage, which is a taller variety, a taller shrub, native Texas sage. I also have a white Texas sage that I got from Fred Reyes Nurseries over there in Simonton, Texas. And I have not seen a white Texas sage anywhere else. And everybody that sees it is super jealous. It actually needs to be repotted. And when I do, I'm going to try to get some propagations. But what I would recommend, if you have the ability to, get access to bigger cuttings. So when I did my cuttings, they were probably, I don't know, maybe bigger or smaller than this. If you can go 12 to 18 inches, 12 to 18 inches on your cutting, and you want like at least this thick, you're going to have better results. I didn't use deep enough pots. in that video. So if you can use like 1 gallon pots, that's kind of been my method going forward in all my videos and everything I do. And I've been having a lot more success. I thought, getting into gardening and, everybody's constantly learning new methods and new techniques and getting better and seeing what works for them. But when I was doing a lot of propagations in smaller containers, I was noticing that they were drying out way too quick. And that's the worst thing that can happen with propagations is that your soil dries out, then your cutting dries out, and the whole thing's done. So using at least a 1 gallon pot, I have found that I have had the best germination rate. And then also when I'm doing a soil mix, I'm adding perlite. I'm adding perlite because not only do you want your soil to hold some moisture, but you don't want it to hold too much moisture. So if you have just like a bunch of, sticks and, soil and all this stuff, and there's no perlite, no aggregate to add to drainage, those cuttings can also flood. So it's finding a happy medium. And I have found that adding perlite to my soil mix when I'm doing propagations has really helped. So to answer your question, I would love to do a follow up on that Texas sage propagation video, but I think maybe one of them made it to the spring out of the 8 I did, and I think that one got lost in the between May and June, so it just did not do good. But I will be doing more propagation videos. I usually celebrate Proptober. Proptober is coming up, and October is my biggest propagation season. My biggest season for propagation. I tried to do it last year, and maybe I need to do it this year. But maybe I need to try to do 31 days of propagations and propagate 31 different plants. God, that would be insane. That's a lot of work. I would have to start recording. I would start doing videos now probably for that. So maybe we'll see. I'll try. I'll do my best. But we're gonna do some more Texas sage propagations, and we'll do a ton more propagations. I've got a ton of propagations in my little propagation greenhouse right now, and I'm saying propagation too much, and it's making my brain do cartwheels. So and then from time to time, my screen will do that little wipe. I don't know what's going on. I need someone who knows how to use the internet better than me to come to my house and set up my studio and make sure my screen does not do that. I don't know what's going on. I've tried a million different things, but we'll see how it goes. We'll keep going. It's only out for a second or so. Hope everyone's having a great Friday. If you got any gardening questions going into the fall, if you got any tree planting questions, let me know. I'll do my best to answer those as well. We are live on Facebook and YouTube. So if you aren't already, subscribe to me on YouTube, subscribe to me on Facebook. I am Texas Garden Guy everywhere, and we're going to start doing these lives every Friday night. So like I'm off every other Friday, so we'll do the days I'm off. We'll do coffee TGIF, like coffee in the morning, and then on Fridays when I'm working, I get off at 4, so we'll do 7 p.m. So it's either 7 a.m. or 7 p.m. But I try to schedule these way ahead of time so y'all can plan for them. So, uh, got a lot of events coming up. Actually, next week I'll be driving to Alabama. Going to Alabama, we'll be in Jemison, Alabama for Just Dig It Farms is putting on their annual the Great Fall Garden Festival. The Great Fall Garden Festival. It's a annual event that is at Petals from the Past in Jemison, Alabama. It's about a 10-hour drive for me. I took off Thursday and Friday so that I can drive over there. But I'll probably leave early Thursday morning and try to get there and go around and check everything out. But I'm excited. I haven't met Tracy from Just Dig It or Jason from Cog Hill in person, so it'd be great to meet them. So if you're in the Alabama area, I think Jemison is between Birmingham and Montgomery, so it's northern Alabama. So I'm excited. Gonna be a road trip, and I got my new camera. My new camera came in, so I'll be vlogging the whole trip. It's gonna be so much fun. I'm really excited to go and meet some cool people and network. And it's always fun. When I went and did the expo in San Antonio about a month ago now, it was so awesome to get to meet a lot of people who have the same passions as you, like with gardening and, fruit trees and, people who have weird exotic plants like I do, like tropical plants. And you'll meet those people every day, in your normal life. You don't see people all the time who are super interested in things you are. So to get to go to like a whole convention where people are obsessed with different plants, it's really cool. Get to meet them. And I'm always the guy at my table who's showing off my garden on my phone, and there was other people who were actually doing the same thing. So it was really cool. Let's see. Cheryl said, I can't wait to see the videos that come out from that event. I am unable to attend being in Texas. Oh, I totally understand. Believe me, if I wasn't, man, I've been making it a goal this year to go out and do more events. And, if you want to grow the Texas Garden Guy brand and meet more people and expand your knowledge and your network and everything, you got to, you know, spend a little money on hotel rooms, a little bit of money on gas, and go do these events. Just like that one in San Antonio, I went to Expo and I had such a great time. So going to Alabama, I assume is going to be really great as well. Not to mention, I'm going to get some down home, country cooking over there. I mean, they got some good food over in Alabama for what I hear, so should be nice. But I'll be there on Thursday evening, and it's going to be so much fun. If y'all don't know already, the new Texas Garden Guy hats are in. I posted a picture of them earlier, but my friend Alicia over at Primary Prints just sent me a batch of new hats. These are our low profile trucker foamy hats. It's like the foamy trucker hats with the low profile. They're not like super high up, and they got a rope on them as well. There's a little black rope as well, so they fit really nice. I will have hats at my booth in Alabama, so if you come on by, I will have hats for sale. And if you aren't going to be at the event, you can go to the link I just posted in the comments and support the channel. I made sure I don't do any more ads in the live stream. If you come back and watch a replay, there's going to be ads, but keeping the live stream ad free. But you can help out the channel by supporting me and purchasing a hat or sharing the live or sharing one of my videos to one of your friends or family. So I really appreciate that. Let's see. It was great. I got to meet you at the expo in San Antonio. It was fun. Oh yeah, how's it going, Jolene? Yeah, I remember you now. Yes, I remember you. Yeah, we had such a great time. I was laughing with my buddy Jay White. He runs Texas Gardener Magazine, and he told me I was laughing because I didn't laugh at the time, but I laughed immediately like when I got to the expo, because he was like, prepare yourself, because you're people know you like in nurseries and these other kinds of events, but this is a nursery and landscape expo. It's like green industry professionals, and he's like, just prepare yourself. There might not be a lot of people that know who you are. And like literally before I even got into the expo, I was getting my ticket. There was people recognize me, and it was so much fun to get to meet people who enjoy my content. Because it's neat. Because I do a lot of this for me because I enjoy doing it, and I feel like what I'm doing is educational and it's entertaining, and to get like positive feedback in person is super super important. It keeps it going, motivates me, and keeps me going on that stuff. So I really appreciate the support, and I really appreciate that so much. Let's see. Chestnut Hills Farmstead is I was going to have baked goods for sale. Nice. Yeah, I was wondering. I was trying to figure out what I was going to bring, because what I usually do when I go to events like this is I sell trees. I sell like, fig trees, plumerias, some tropical stuff. But crossing state lines, and it's actually being held at Petals from the Past, which is a nursery. And one of the stipulations was that for the event is like none of the vendors can actually sell plants. So the nursery will have plants for sale, obviously. But they don't want any like competition like with vendors. So I won't bring any plants. So I was trying to figure out what I could bring. And I was like, well, I just started selling the hats. And so I usually just have the link where you can go order them, because I hate inventory. I hate inventory and shipping, and we're working a full-time job and doing full-time content after that. It's so hard to, I've got stuff for Phil's figs that I haven't shipped them. It's sitting in a box here. It's been a month. And I will ship that out eventually, or he'll get it in October. But I'm super bad at inventory and shipping. So my buddy Jeremy Trotsky, who runs Dirty Punk Gardens, his wife does I would say upholstery. It's embroidery. She does the embroidery for their printing brand, for the printing company. And she was like, "Oh, I can do your hats and handle all the shipping and all the inventory." And I was like, "That sounds amazing." Because I'm not looking to make $1 million on this stuff, but like I like to have something to be able to, have my logo on it. And I designed this logo myself. It's not the picture of me going like this, like the other one, but that's my logo, Texas Garden Guy, right there. Until we come up with another one. But if the hats do well, we'll do other stuff. And but anyone who's bought a hat or supported the channel, I really appreciate it. So I will have a limited amount of hats. I went ahead and ordered some hats. Spent quite a bit of money getting some hats, and so I'll have them for sale. And then I'll be giving away stickers for free. I got plenty of stickers. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Alabama. Um, gonna leave probably Houston kind of early and try to get out of here maybe 4 o'clock in the morning or so, because it takes about 10 hours, 10, 11 hours. If I stop a couple times for food and bathroom breaks and let the truck cool down, get gas and everything. So I want to leave a decent time and be able to get there and not be super late, so I'm not worthless the next day. Tracy and them will probably need help setting up stuff at the nursery. Plus, I want to go scope it out and check it out before it's all crowded. And if there's anything good that I want to get it before everybody comes on Saturday. So it always pays to show up at the nursery right when it opens, especially when they're going to have a big fall event like this. I do have to be careful because I can't. And that's one thing you should know, honestly. If you're like in Texas, if you go across state lines, you're not allowed to bring like citrus trees. A lot of people who moved here from California were very upset when they found out that they had like citrus trees and pots and planters, and they were not allowed to bring that into Texas because of the quarantine that we have with citrus and some other plants. There's some other plants that are in like known like title is invasive by U.S. Department of Agriculture and Texas Department of Agriculture. So you want to be careful with crossing too many plants. But like I'm curious to see what they have. I know that Petals from the Past is known for their like antique roses, which there's a place locally. I say locally, it's about an hour and some change. If you're in the Houston area and you're looking for antique roses, you want to probably check out the Antique Rose Emporium. They're right outside of Brenham in Independence, Texas. A really cool place. I've become pretty good friends with the owners. They're really nice people, and they have a really cool variety of roses and a bunch of other plants. And when I use the term antique rose, what I'm referring to is a not a hybrid, not a genetically modified. I'll still hear me at least when it goes like that. But it's a non-genetically modified rose. It's a antique rose, like from the old country, like Eastern Europe and stuff like that. And when they started hybridizing and genetically modifying all these roses, that like you see the knockout rose and the drift rose. A lot of these things are modified and selectively bred and all kinds of crazy stuff. They're you know they're not known as well as the antique roses for like their disease resistant and their drought resistant and their blooming abilities. The scent on hybrids are sometimes not the most fragrant. So antique roses are really known for special qualities. There is a dinner the night before. Yeah, there's a dinner the night before for vendors over there. Oh, you're talking about the dinner over at the Antique Rose. Yes, the Antique Rose Emporium. Yes, there's a dinner the night before in Alabama, and then they do dinners. That's why I was confused. They do dinners out there at the Antique Rose Emporium all the time too. They do like garden talks. I was there for the Texas Tomato Conference back in, I think it was January or February. I forget. I forget which one it was. January or February. But I was there in Brenham. Brenham is a lot of fun. And be careful. They got some good little bars and some good little restaurants right there in Brenham, so be careful. I stayed at this hotel. Jay White from Texas Gardener Magazine was actually the guy who put on the Texas Tomato Festival, and he booked me this awesome, like, it wasn't even like a hotel. It was like this beautiful bed and breakfast. It was so nice, but it's right there in the smack dab in the middle of town. And it's like this old, I don't think it's an old slaughterhouse. I think it's like an old slaughterhouse or something. They told me like on the ground floor that the wood was still stained like from like slaughtering stuff. So you can when you're sleeping on in the bed, you can hear the moves, the right as they, I know that's not true. Uh, but it's an old building, and they've got a bunch of rooms, and they're really old antique hotel rooms, really neat. And I forget what the name of the place is in Brenham. It's super nice. But yeah, it was really cool right there in downtown Houston, and it was a lot of fun. Let's see, Blue Sage. I'm going to pot my plumeria this weekend. I cut it last Saturday. Should I use a root booster? So I'm assuming when you say root booster, you're talking about like a rooting hormone powder or something like that. Yeah, you can. You can. I mean, I don't usually, but you definitely can. They're not going to hurt anything by using like a rooting powder or anything like that. If it's been a week, just make sure that it's completely dried up on the end. Anytime you make a cut on a plumeria, I highly encourage you to do it at an angle so that the original plant, if there's water that collects on top, it'll just kind of roll off. That way it doesn't collect and rot the plant. I actually saw a picture, and I forget the name of the page, but they posted that when they make the cuts on their plumerias, like on the host plant, the original plant, they take those finger gloves. And if you know what a finger glove is, it looks a little peculiar, right? But it's these little gloves that just roll over your finger, and you can do whatever. But they use those to put over the end of the plumeria cuttings to keep them from getting infected and rotting when they dry out. So I would yeah, so I mean, if you're gonna if you're gonna repot, yeah, finger cots. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so if you're gonna repot your plumeria this weekend, go ahead. If you do nick it or make any cuts on it or slice it on accident, just do yourself a favor and put it in a pot like out of the rain for like a week or so. If not, if you're good, if it's clean and you don't see any sap flow, then you can put it out in the rain. And I tell you what, if it rains all next week, you're golden, because it's going to do a lot of good. Just make sure you have really well draining soil. Make sure you have really well draining soil. You're going to want you're going to want to add some perlite to that. Some sandy soil with perlite, I would recommend, to allow that to have really good drainage. The last thing you want when you got a desert rose, I mean, a plumeria or anything with a caudex, a succulent at all, you want to make sure you got really good drainage. Yeah, that's why I started adding a lot of perlite into my soil, because it helps out with drainage so much. Yeah, finger cots. Yeah, I ordered a pack of them. I ordered a pack of them on Amazon, and it was like, I think 250 for like $8. I mean, so I'm good for life now. And you just want to leave it on there while they heal up. You want to leave it up while the cut heals up, so that it doesn't get infected. You wouldn't want to leave it on there permanently, because it would hold too much moisture and it'll like rot. So you wouldn't want to do that. But yeah, some people do a lot. They do a lot of different techniques to seal those plumeria cuts whenever they make their cuts. I've seen videos where people use DAP, which is like silicone. They'll use that to seal the top. I have used bonsai cut paste, which worked okay. I just did it the wrong time of year. Bonsai cut paste is just like, I think it's very similar to that stuff that my grandpa used to use it. It's this black gel, like this goo, and it comes like in this tin, and you pop it up, and it's got a little brush, and you go. It looks like the same kind of can that you use when you do like plumbing. You put the purple stuff on there to seal like PVC together. I forget what it's called though. I got a can of it in here, and it works good. Works really well. But there's some people that just put cinnamon on the end. There's some people put Elmer's glue. They put wood glue. They put silicone. They put, so I'm going to try these little finger cots and put them over there and see if that helps, because I've got a couple. I probably got 5 or 6 plumerias that are about 5 or 6 feet tall, and they've already bloomed, but they're only like 2-year-old plants. So what I need to do is cut them back and allow them to fork, and then let the top half scab over, and then repot it. And I probably need to sell some plumerias. Honestly, I have a ton of plumerias. I needed to sell some bad. We have established So I'm going to give you all my dates for September while we got a little bit of break here in the questions. And if you just hopped in, drop your questions down below. I got a couple of dates for September, and I'll let y'all know what they are. It's going to be very busy, but we're going to have a lot of cool things we're going to coming up. So obviously next weekend I'm going to be at Pedals from the Past in Jemison, Alabama. And then on September 21st, that is the Saturday after Alabama, I will be at the Strawberry Jamboree in Lake Jackson, Texas. My friend Kimberly from AgriLife over there in Brazoria County, she's the Brazoria County ag agent. She is putting on, I think it's the second annual Strawberry Jamboree. I think it's a free event, and it's just going to be an educational morning. It's going to be from like 8 to noon over there at the Lake Jackson Rec Center. There's more information on Facebook, but yeah, I'll be at the Strawberry Jamboree, and then the next Sunday, I haven't confirmed it yet, but the next Sunday, so Sunday the 22nd, I will be on Garden Line Radio with Skip Richter. I had a lunch meeting with Skip Richter last Friday, about a week ago, and I'll be on the radio with Skip that Sunday morning. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I love Skip. He's such a cool dude and very knowledgeable. So it's going to be fun to go on the radio with him for a little bit. So that's AM 740, 6 to 10. And hey, if you don't already, go follow Skip Richter on Instagram. They just started an Instagram. I think it's called Garden Line with Skip. Garden Line with Skip. Make sure to go give him a follow. He's a lot of fun, and he puts out a lot of content. I had to talk to him. He had some social media questions, and I went over there and talked to him, and he's going to be putting out a lot of cool, interesting stuff. So make sure to go follow him on Instagram and Facebook. And let's see. September 29th, that's a Sunday morning. I'll be back on, what is it? The Urban Gardener with Enoch. Urban Gardener, that's a YouTube show. I'll post the links to all this stuff for the next day. And then the next Saturday will be Figtoberfest. And I don't know if everybody knows about Figtoberfest yet, but I will let you know right now. Figtoberfest is going to be a freaking blast. We've been working on Figtoberfest for going on, I don't know, 3 months now. No, more than that. We've been working on it since like March. But anyway, Figtoberfest is the brainchild of me and Phil's Figs, my buddy Phil's Figs, who's my co-host on the Garden Party podcast. He lives in North Carolina, so I wanted to get him down here, and I was like, well, if I'm going to fly him all the way down, I need to probably do an event where everybody can meet him and we can all get to know him. And so that's what we decided to do. We got with Kimberly from the Brazoria County Ag Extension, and we created this event. And I will post a link to it right here, actually. Boom. Very excited about this event. It's a free event. It is a free event that we're putting on. It'll be in Angleton, Texas on October 5th. I'm going to post the link right here. It's a free event. Not only is Phil coming, but David Burke, the fig hunter, is coming. He's coming in from California. If you don't know the fig hunter is really cool guy, and he is bringing cutting. So basically what's going to happen is it's going to be from like 8 to 1 over in Angleton at one of their parks. And it's like it has like an awning and everything. We're going to have a whole morning of classes, or not classes, more of talks about, getting started with figs, how to plant them properly, how to grow them properly, how to care for them. Me and Phil are going to do a talk. We're going to do some raffles, some giveaways. The whole time, David, Fig Hunter, will be showing people how to propagate. He's going to bring a ton of cutting. So literally everybody that shows up to Figtoberfest is going to get a fig cutting already propagated and going home. The soil is being provided by Luis Chamorro over at Heirloom Soils. And we also are going to have refreshments provided by Fig Brew. Fig Brew, Marianne and them are good friends of ours. They've been on the garden party before, and they are providing a Fig Brew is a coffee alternative. Fig Brew is a coffee alternative that actually, let's see if I can pull this up. Boop, boop. There we go. So I don't know if y'all can see that. Can y'all see that? So Fig Brew is a coffee alternative made from figs. It is literally dried up figs, like dehydrated figs, and they roast them and they grind them up. And it's literally tastes delicious. If you haven't already, go try Fig Brew. It is really cool. And also, I can announce, because I just got the email right as I was starting, we have another company that's going to be donating some trees as well. We got a company that's going to be donating some trees. So there will be gift bags from Fig Brew. There will be fig trees from this company, which I'll wait to announce the brand and everything. We're going to add them to the flyer. Actually, I will have trees to donate. So there's going to be a lot of cool stuff. Everyone is going to leave with something, most likely. So make sure you put October 5th in the books for you on your calendar. It is a free event from 8 to 1. What is it? Lakeside Park, 1234, which sounds like a made-up address, but 1234 Enchanted Oaks Drive, Angleton, Texas, 77515. Speakers, exhibitors, tree giveaways, tastings, and more. So I'll be there. AgriLife's going to be there. Fig Hunter is going to be there. Phil's Fig is going to be there. And this is brought to you basically by the city of Angleton. Rec Center sponsored us and is letting us have this event space for free. And Heirloom Soils is donating an entire pallet of their very premium, very premium, valuable soil for propagations. And Fig Brew is going to donate the Fig Brew, and we're going to have warm, hot refreshments that morning. But I've made iced Fig Brew, and it's really good. I mean, it's good all over. And so, yeah, there'll be more to come on that. But if y'all, like I said, if you have that day available, make sure to come out. And the day before, actually, we're going to go to Moody Gardens. We're going to go to Moody Gardens. I'm taking Phil to Moody Gardens. He does oceanic geology. Forgot he is he does. He's a scientist. He works like the state of North Carolina, and so he's obsessed with the ocean. He's a surfer. So I was like, we got to take him to Galveston. And luckily, I have a friend that is the main horticulturalist for the rainforest pyramid at Moody Gardens, and so we're going to go do a tour. Basically, that Friday before, there's a flyer on my Instagram and Facebook. But the Friday before Figtoberfest, I think it's October 4th, when Moody Gardens open, whoever can be there, come and meet us at Moody Gardens. And we're going to have a tour of the pyramid, the rainforest pyramid, and we're going to go through the aquarium pyramid. That's going to be so much fun. Yeah, it's going to be such a good time. I'm going to have to, I wanted to do a discount ticket. The problem is I got the form and you got to pay in advance. And I don't want to be responsible for everybody's money. So we're probably just going to have to pay what we pay. I don't think there's going to be a discounted ticket because I don't want to be responsible for this many people's, like whoever shows up. I don't want to be responsible for their money and have to deal with refunds and all that stuff. I just got with the Figtoberfest and stuff going on. It's going to be too much. So come and show up and it'll be a good time. But I don't think there's going to be a discounted ticket unless I can negotiate something with them. I don't know. Off the top of my head, I do not know. Unless I can talk, I may have to give them a call this week. I may give them a call this week and see if there's a way to show up and pay what we pay, as long as I guarantee like a minimum amount of people are going to be there. But I think they want like they want to know how many people are going to be there. They want the money in advance, and that's why it would be cheaper. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't want to handle everybody's money. I don't want anybody's money. I don't want to handle anybody's money or do anything like that. So I just want to show up and have a good time. I don't know what it is. I know it's not super cheap. I know Moody Garden is a little expensive, but not crazy expensive. But hey, if you can't make it, that's fine. We're just doing that. We're going to go check out you'll get to go walk the rainforest and go through the aquarium with me and Phil and hang out with us and whoever wants to show up. Oh, Fig Hunter's gonna be there too with his kids and stuff. So it's gonna be a good time. But yeah, we're excited about Figtoberfest. That's a blast. We got a lot of conference calls and meetings and trying to plan everything. We originally were going to do it at the Ag Extension office, but we could only fit 50 people. And within like a week of us putting the event like as like getting RSVPs, we already had like 100 and something people. And so we're like, we're going to have to either limit how many people can come, or we're going to have to find a bigger space. So we found a bigger space. And thank you so much to Kimberly Mayer for putting in the work on that. She is amazing, and she is the one putting on the Strawberry Jamboree on the 21st as well. So I will be there. Anytime Kimberly wants anything, I will be there to help her because she does so much for other people, and I want to make sure I help her out the best I can. So, but yeah, so we got a bunch of events coming up. Very excited, and Phil is excited. Phil is super excited, and I've got some special things planned for Phil. We're gonna be making like I don't know where we're gonna have time to sleep because we're gonna have so much content I'm wanting to make and like places to go. We want to go to Jorge's. We want to go do some things. So I don't know where we're gonna have time to sleep. There's just so much going on. We want to do a couple cooking videos. If you don't follow Phil's Figs, Phil is like full on Italian, and he does a lot of like Italian cooking with like pesto and homemade pastas and sauces, or he calls them gravies. But, to me here in Texas, like being like a German Czech guy, I mean, the Olive Garden is Italian. And if he heard me say that, he would be so disappointed. But hey, don't you ever talk mess about the Olive Garden. It's delicious. But his food looks better. And I don't know why he doesn't do more cooking videos. He should, especially with his figs. They made fig gnocchi. I don't know if I'm saying that right. It's GNOCCI. They made a fig gnocchi, I believe, and made it into a pot. Like I guess the gnocchi is pasta, but a lot of cool recipes. And he does a really good job of, feeding his kids like stuff that comes out of his garden. So he's saying that he's going to cook an Italian feast, and so I'm going to do my best to absorb as much knowledge as I possibly can when Phil's down here, because I like to cook Italian food. Haven't been as much lately. I used to be like pizza all the time, pasta all the time, but since I got on this diet, I've kind of been laying off the pastas, laying off that kind of stuff as much as I can anyway. I did have Chick-fil-A today. I had Chick-fil-A for lunch today, and it was so good. But I was like kicking myself all afternoon afterwards. I was like, why'd you do that? But it's not about falling off the diet. It's about getting back on the diet. So I'm here drinking my iced tea with stevia. Which, hey, I found out something very interesting today. And I don't know if this is a well-known fact or not, but it very much disturbed me. So since I've been on this weight loss journey, I'll call it a weight loss journey, I've been using a lot of a product called stevia in the raw, which, hey, I'm sure a lot of people that are trying to lose weight use stevia in the raw. Seems like a good product. It says 0-calorie sweetener, and it says stevia in the raw, which makes you assume that it is raw stevia. And it may very well be raw stevia, but I looked at a packet at work. I was going to make a cup of coffee, and I grabbed a little green packet of stevia in the raw. And I was like, you know what? Let's look at the back of this package and see, what is the ingredients in stevia in the raw. If I don't see, I was like, if I don't see just stevia, like raw stevia, I'm going to be so upset. And I looked in the back, and the first ingredient in stevia in the raw is dextrose. What's dextrose? It is a 0-calorie sweetener made from corn. Come to find out, they cut stevia in the raw with dextrose, which is a non-caloric corn sweetener. And I was looking it up. I was like, well, does it tell you like how much dextrose to how much stevia is in the sweetener? No, I have no idea. But what I did do is I went online and I found out that you can buy raw organic stevia all by itself. So I did. And after doing a little bit of research and trying raw organic stevia, come to find out the reason that they cut stevia with dextrose or whatever else they're using they don't tell us about is because if it was just raw stevia, it would take so little to actually sweeten your desserts or drinks or coffee or whatever that it would just be such a negligible amount. Like stevia is so freaking sweet. Stevia is like I think they said 10 times sweeter, like per like tablespoon than sugar. And so they add dextrose to stevia in the raw so that when you're making a dessert or whatever cooking, um, it's more I don't know. They cut it. So that blew my mind finding out that stevia in the raw is not raw stevia. And so that just goes to show you, like, I'm going to start paying a lot more attention to what is in my food. More than anything, I think this country has got a problem not knowing where their food comes from, not understanding where the food comes from, not comprehending, that like I saw a video today, and I'm not talking a mess about this person. There's a guy named Spicy Mustache, and he's got a huge following. And I had my headphones in, but I was paying attention. I didn't have the sound on, and all I saw was the caption, and it said, "Figs equals eating a wasp," or something like that. And I guess in the voiceover, he explained that not all figs have wasps and stuff like that. But like, if I was someone that wasn't actually listening to the video, listening to his voiceover, I might think that there are wasps in my figs. And if you're in the United States and you eat figs, 90%, 99% of the figs you eat will not have wasps. None of the figs I have in my backyard. I like 100 trees in my back, 100 fig trees in my backyard. There's no fig wasps. They're common figs. Most figs in the United States are common figs that are parthenocarpic. Parthenocarpic means self-pollinating or whatever. So I'm not a scientist. I just know that word, parthenocarpic, which means I don't need a male fig and a female fig. I don't need a wasp. The wasp doesn't even exist in Texas. The wasp doesn't even exist here. So the only way to get a fig wasp in your fig here in Texas is if someone brought the wasp from California or the Mediterranean. So, and if you did have a wasp in your fig, guess what? When it fully ripens, so if you've ever gone out to your tree and you pulled an unripe fig off the tree, what do you see? What's the first thing you see? You see that white latex sap. That's latex. Like literally what they make latex gloves out. People have allergies to latex. Whenever there is a fig that ripens, what happens is the enzymes ripen, and if there was a fig in there, the enzymes would actually dissolve and pretty much absorb all the wasp. You would never see a wasp. And then all the latex goes back into the tree. And that's why when a fig is fully ripe, you see it droop, because all the latex has gone back into the tree. So anybody who's ever seen like a video on TikTok or YouTube, whatever, when a person bites into a fig and it's just covered in bugs, or it cut it in half and it's covered in bugs, that's not fig wasps. That's not fig wasps unless they're in a certain region where they actually have fig wasps. Most of the time, those are black fig flies. There is a issue in California right now that I was just told about through Profig, where he was talking about, black fig flies, and that's a whole other conversation. I'm not from California, so I don't know what's really going on, but like what I was talking about with the Spicy Mustache video and people thinking that there's wasps in your food. I mean, the wasps in your figs would be the least of your concern. I mean, there are more insects consumed through like the bread you're eating. Whenever there's combines and harvesters going through like a wheat field, you think they're picking out the bugs out of the grain and everything before they make the bread? No, they're grinding up the grasshoppers and anything else that's in the grass too. So trash, probably plastic, all kinds of crazy stuff that's in our it's getting ground up and put in our food, in the corn and the grain and all this stuff and the sugar cane. Now I think they were saying that here in the United States, the average person eats a credit card's worth of plastic every single month, and they're worried about bugs. It's so wild to see what's going on, but I am making a pledge to myself that I'm going to start paying more attention to what's in my food and what I'm eating. And I think a lot of people, should pay attention to what's going on with their food. And I'm not a dietitian, obviously. I mean, fat guy from Texas. I grow a lot of veggies, but I don't eat them all. It's like I said, I went to Chick-fil-A this morning. Oh my God. So yeah, I was pretty bummed out when I saw the stevia, but I got that regular raw stevia, and I'm actually to get my pitcher of tea. I've got the Mr. Tea brewer or whatever. And it used to take me 2 cups of the stevia in the raw to make my tea taste like somewhat sweet. And I tell you what, the stevia in the raw, I was having to put quite a bit of that in my coffee just to get it sweet. I literally took a tablespoon and got a little bit of that raw organic stevia that was just all by itself, no dextrose, and it is sweet. I bet I'll probably have to add like 2 tablespoons to like one pitcher. I bet. It's so sweet. So I'm gonna start carrying around a little salt shaker with like raw organic stevia with me, so I can start using it in my coffee and my tea at work and stuff like that. Because I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of not knowing what's in my food, and it's so weird. I know, and yeah, people are going to see this and they're like, "Oh, a fat guy's worried about what's in his food and all this stuff." Well, we gotta start paying more attention. I'm going to start paying more attention, and we got to start paying more attention. I'll get off my soapbox now. You need to put your grain, rice, beans, and dry good products in the freezer for at least 2 weeks to kill the bugs in them. Yeah, so is that a trick? Oh, that's a cool trick right there. Because I have had like rice or whatever that had weevils in it. I always see it in I always see it in my bird seed. My main technique, and people ask me, how do you keep birds out of your garden? It's like I keep them fed in the front. I like birds. I like to see birds. I got my little guide where I can come out here and I actually can watch them out this window, and I'll sit here and look around, and I like to watch the birds. And the best thing to do I found is birds aren't going anywhere. They were here before us, and they're going to be here after we're gone. So keep them fed in the front, and they're less likely to come in the back. That's what I've found. But every time I buy sunflower seeds, if I buy like the safflower or the millet or whatever, I think it probably comes from the millet, but like I said, it can come from any grain. I always have those, like I got like a 5-gallon bucket, and if it sits there for a long time, you go open it, and there's like those little black bugs, and it's the weevils. And so you're saying if you put the grain or whatever in the freezer for 2 weeks, it'll kill the insects that might be in them. That's interesting. That's interesting. I used to think about tuna, or not tuna, sushi like that. I used to worry about like sushi because I was like, don't they have like parasites and stuff inside the fish, like when you eat them? But then I found out they do what you do. I think they freeze the fish for like shipping, and it kills any of the like parasites or bugs that are in the fish. I think that's so. I think you're. I mean, don't quote me on this because I'm not going to jail for telling you to eat raw fish. But I think it's usually pretty safe, at least in Japan and other places. I don't know. I had a buddy who was obsessed with Chinese food. He was obsessed with Chinese food. And like every time we went out to eat for lunch, he wanted to go eat Chinese food. His name's Drew. I'll shout out Drew. And he wanted Chinese food everywhere we went. And we were in Iowa for like a week to work. And of course, where did Drew want to go? Chinese food. And it must have been 10 o'clock at night. They're about to close this Chinese food restaurant. And I told Drew, I was like, it's not a good idea to eat Chinese food where there aren't any Chinese people hardly, And so we got it. And I got so sick from that Chinese food. I got so sick. And I kind of do the same thing with seafood. If I'm really far from the ocean, I'm probably not going to be eating seafood. I don't know. That's kind of how I think about it. Let's see. It is one of the best reasons to grow your own. You know what's in it. Yes, and no. I mean, because yeah, I mean, my dog is sleeping outside the door. I hear him like he does the little barks while he's sleeping. It's so cute. I can hear him. Like hiccups. Yeah, for sure. No, if you want to have food security and food dependence and know what's in your food, the best thing you can do is grow some of it. Obviously, you can't grow everything. You can't grow everything. No matter where you are. People in the north can't grow stuff like the tropical stuff that we're growing. People in the south can't grow the stuff the people in the north are growing. So no matter where you're at, it's hard to grow everything. But that's why I always tell people, like when they want to get into gardening and stuff, you want to get into gardening, grow something you're going to eat. You know, grow something you're going to eat. What's the first thing you should buy? Buy something you're going to eat. Buy some seeds for something you're going to eat. Speaking of that, I'm going to be starting seeds this weekend. I don't know when I'm going to find the time to do it, but I'm starting seeds this weekend. I got so much to do tomorrow. I've got going to get some soil in the morning at Living Earth, and then I'm going to get my hair cut. And then I got my nephew's first football game of the season over in Deer Park. Shout out Emmett. And then after that, I got to try to get home and do some stuff here. While we have 2 days with no rain, I got to try to do as much as possible. But starting seed is something you can do in the garage or do it in the house, if you want to. I'm going to be trying out some new mixes. I'm definitely going to be using my sifter. I've got like a little mesh sifter where I take my soil, like if it's kind of chunky, I'll toss it in there and I'll shake it. And then kind of get the heavier particles stay on top and have the lighter stuff, because you don't really want a bunch of chunky stuff in your soil when you're starting seeds, because it just won't fit in the tray. So I'm going to be doing a mixture of some Living Earth soils that I've got. I think it's the potting soil. It's already pretty smaller particles already. I'm going to be doing some perlite. And then I also met a guy at the expo who's doing some cool stuff with a wood pulp substrate. It's a byproduct of lumber milling, of like milling lumber, and he sent me some samples. And I really want to try it because, hey, that's a good renewable way of having a substrate. Same thing with like cocoa core. Like I love cocoa. Cocoa is good stuff. I'm not the biggest peat guy. I don't really like peat that much because peat is so hard to replace. I mean, peat is grown in a bog in Scotland and in Canada, and it takes thousands of years to like regrow peat. So stuff like cocoa core and maybe this wood substrate might be a cool replacement. So I'm gonna do a couple of different blends, and try some stuff. I'm gonna be growing some. Let's see. What seeds? So I've got some tomato seeds. I'm gonna try to get some tomatoes going for the fall. I do have my greenhouse structure up, and I have a 20-foot raised bed inside of my greenhouse. So the idea is to get my greenhouse raised bed topped off, and then get that bed ready to put some transplants. So when it does start to cool down, I'll be able to close that greenhouse in, and then possibly have some tomatoes growing over winter. I just don't have enough room. I don't have enough room to get everything done. I need a bigger greenhouse. I need another greenhouse the size of the one I got now is what I need. Oh my God, I just don't have room for everything. So once again, my garage will probably be filled with plants. Again, it seems like every year, like, okay, I'll have a bigger area outside where I don't need to bring so much stuff in the garage. And I'm already like, yeah, it's not going to happen. What I am going to probably do this year is take some stuff like my lawnmower and a couple of different things and put them in storage, like my storage unit, which is like right down the road from my house, because I won't need them all winter. And I can kind of get them out of the way so they don't take up as much space. But I got a bunch of plumerias that need to come in, and a bunch of plumerias and desert roses and stuff like that need to come into the garage or the greenhouse over winter. So, but I'll be starting some tomato seeds, and I'm kind of thinking I'm going to go a little crazy with squash. I had a pretty miserable squash season this spring, and so I'm thinking I'm going to try to do some different varieties of squash and have them over winter. You know what I mean? Or eat them over winter. Some of the thicker stuff like acorn and butternut, it's like that, they will last a little bit longer. I usually freeze my stuff anyway, but I want to try some new varieties and try some interesting varieties. I got with um, Greg K over Haas Seeds. They're out of Georgia, and he's going to send me some varieties to try out. We're going to be doing some stuff with them. I'm also going to be doing some garlic. We got some garlic coming from him, and I'll probably have to get some other garlic too because I got one bed that's kind of out of the way. I'm just going to leave it. The variety I'm getting from Haas is elephant garlic, which actually is technically not even a garlic. It's technically a leek. I found that out from Jason at Cog Hill. But I love garlic. I use garlic on everything. And typically I don't have the space to put garlic in and still be able to do things. Like I typically don't do things that take a long time to grow because I've usually got so much growing that I have to use as much space as possible. But I didn't do okra this year and I didn't do certain things, so I'm kind of gonna like let the garlic go. So you plant the garlic now and it could take anywhere between 6 months or something to grow, but they'll go over winter. They're hard neck varieties, so they'll be a little more cold tolerant. So I'm really excited to grow some garlic, and I am going to grow some carrots. I have had the worst luck trying to grow carrots. The worst luck trying to grow carrots. I kind of gave up on growing carrots, but I found Haas Seeds has got the seed tape. If y'all never seen seed tape, it's like a roll, and it's like a biodegradable film. It's almost like toilet paper material. So you put the tape, you dig a little trench and you put the tape in there, and it's got seeds in it, and then you just cover it up, and it pops the sprouts up. So I'm excited to try that, and I got some other stuff I'm going to try that I've never seen before. So very interested to see what that is. Oh, you did beets too. Beets. I ordered a dozen garlic and I will put them between my strawberries. Nice. Yeah, I saw a post today that said that strawberries and garlic work well because the smell of garlic is supposed to ward off pests from the strawberries. But what if you tasted your strawberries and it was like, could you imagine a sweet strawberry that kind of tasted like garlic? Oh, it'd be funny if you go bite into a strawberry and it tastes like garlic. Ugh. I know that's not how it works, but just the thought of it kind of makes me gag. Carrots need more sandy soil. Yeah, and I've got a broad fork. I've got a little broad fork that I'm gonna do my beds in. I'm gonna broad fork some of my beds, and I'm gonna be topping it. The good thing about raised beds is that I don't have to rotate my crops that I don't have to rotate my crops as much because every year after you had a long season, you're watering all the time, your beds will drop, the soil levels drop because the soil's, dropping into the crevices and all that good stuff, so you got to top off. So I've got to, probably in most of my beds, I've got to add about 4 inches of soil, but I am going to try to broad fork them all before I do that. I don't till any of my stuff. I practice. I don't practice no till. But I practice like a lasagna method. I do layers, but I need to be broad forking. My buddy Jeremy Trotsky at Dirty Punk Gardening, he does a ton of carrots. He does a ton of carrots up there in Ohio, and he told me that the key to carrots is broad forking. So I bought the broad fork he's got. It's a really cool one. It's like a shovel, and it's got the forks on it, so you can just do it by hand. So I'm excited to try that out and get my beds ready for some carrots. And you can still do them. Let's see. Just keep the carrots wet until they sprout. Then they grow all winter. The cooler weather makes them sweet. Oh, nice. Yeah, I've heard that with some vegetables, especially stuff like kale. That the cold weather, the freezing temperatures actually makes the starches in the kale turn into sugar, so they actually taste sweeter. So if you've ever had a crappy piece of kale, it was probably grown in the summer. Probably tasted bitter. It was grown during the summer. Let's see. Question: did Jason say he tilled and then put down plastic for spring planting? I missed my spring planting season, and I want to get my garden space ready again for spring. Well, that's if you're. I don't do any in-ground gardening. Or you're asking if Jason did? I don't know if Jason tills or not. If I had to guess, I would say he probably did originally. I don't know if he still does or I don't know if he does it after every season. Some people some people don't till as much as they probably is some people don't till at all. Some people will till it, disc it up like a row, and then every year they just I've seen people tilter, which is like a little drill press, and they'll tilt like the top layer, or they'll broad fork, which just loosens up the soil without actually tilling everything and flipping it. Okay, so he did till it and then covered it. Okay, and so like what I've seen with most people is they will do that, cover it, and then a lot of times they'll pull the plastic back, top it off, broad fork, and then probably I don't know if he's going to till again. Yeah, I'm not sure. But yeah, I don't till. I'm in all raised beds, and I'm adding so much soil every season that I don't till. I don't do any tilling. I usually do like a layer cardboard, and then I add soil. I'm probably not gonna do. I'm probably not gonna do the cardboard this fall, because in the spring, and I know people commented on my videos when I did the video in spring, but I added too much cardboard. I added too much cardboard as a weed barrier this year, and it's not that it doesn't break down fast. It does break down pretty quick. But I went to go plant it. I went to go plant in that bed, like maybe a week afterwards, and that cardboard had not broken down fast enough. And I was like having to cut through the cardboard and then plant my tomatoes. And after that was fine. I mean, it broke down and it's all good to go now. I just had, if I do it again that thick with cardboard, I'll do it like a month before I plant and continue watering so it has enough time to break down. Oh yeah, thank you. Thank you, Sue. Yeah, I did my blueberries. My blueberries look much better already. My blueberry, I touched my beard. I've been going a whole hour and I've barely touched my beard. I know someone said last time they're going to turn, every time he touches his beard, you got to take a drink. Turn into a drinking game. So I'm trying not to touch my beard as much. Yeah, the blueberries are looking much better. They're loving the rain. I tell you what, that Charles Malky Ivy Organics fertilizer is good stuff. It reminds me of the stuff I used to use. I forget what the brand of it, but it came in like this. It looked like a cereal box. I used to buy it on Amazon. This fertilizer came in like a cereal box, and you'd buy like blood meal or fish meal or bone meal or whatever. Forget the brand, but that's what the Charles Malky Ivy Organics fertilizer reminds me of. It's more of a powder than a granule. Breaks down pretty quick, I'm sure, but it's good stuff. My blueberries look much better now. Mucho mejor. Let's see. Did Leg say that the blueberries are grafted? I don't think they're grafted. I'm fairly confident that they're not grafted. Yeah, I don't think so. That would be a question for Trey, though. I don't know. I don't think they're grafted, though. I think it would be hard to graft something like that because they're so bushy. Because if you grafted them, you'd have to graft each individual one. They're not super thick yet. I don't know. I don't know that anybody does grafted blueberries. I think they were probably propagated, and yeah, I don't know. But everyone in the chat, I really appreciate y'all hanging out. It's been over an hour now. We will continue to do this TGIF live stream every Friday. Next week, the Friday live stream will be coming from Alabama, though. I'll be in Alabama. I'll be probably going live from my hotel room. So, but make sure to check out the YouTube. Make sure to subscribe. Next Monday, we'll have the Texas Garden Guy show, and my guest for next Monday will be, drumroll please, Vikram, the plant professor. If y'all know Vikram, he is from Lubbock, Texas. He's he runs the greenhouse at Texas Tech, but he's the plant prof everywhere: Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. Really cool guy, and we're gonna have a one-on-one sit down on Monday and get to talk all things gardening. So make sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you get a notification anytime I post a video, anytime I go live. And then Wednesday for the garden party will be me, Phil, and Michael Fiore from Smith's Garden Town. Smith's Garden Town is a great dude out of Wichita Falls. He runs a family nursery right there in Wichita Falls. I think they've been around for like over 50 years. Really cool guy, very informative, really funny. Smith's Garden Town puts out a ton of content. They literally put out a video every single day on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. So make sure to go follow Smith's Garden Town. Like I said, hit that notification bell, follow me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram, Texas Garden Guy everywhere. Go buy a hat. There's a link in the chat, and there's also a link in my bio. And I will see y'all on Monday. Yeah, Monday night. See y'all later, guys.